Okay, we're going to program the Minitor 6 to include on-off duty tones. We got our pager in there. It doesn't have to be on or off. We're going to go up here. This is hard to see, but we're going to read the current code plug in the pager. It's one to know if we want to override the current one that's in the computer right now. We do. Okay, so here's the main page. In general is your serial numbers in case they get rubbed off. I'll just look at this quick for settings. Under function switches, here's where we're looking at our switch A is set to a selective call, so it's only going to look at the tones that we put on the channel F1 tab. Its alert type is tone. You could change that to vibrate or push to listen. Tone and vibrate, and then over on the right you see the push to listen. The announcement's a standard one, so it tells you which switch you're on, and you see that this is checked right here, but we'll continue down. Selective, switch B is selective call, so just the tones that you want, and then vibrate, and then C is monitor. That's going to listen to everything in the county. You get all calls on that when it comes in. Switch D is set to selective call, vibrate, and then the push to listen is active, so it won't speak after the tones come out. You'll have to push the button to listen to the message. Down below here we've got switch H on this. This is where the on-off duty comes into play, and I'll try to explain that a little bit better. But on channel F1, I can get to it here. Here's our tones. So up here on the wall you see we've got our pager tones, the all calls, the station 1, 2, 3, duty officer, and so on and so on. Up here in the corner, 154.2800, that's where we get our 2800 from, called dispatch. That's got to be in there, otherwise nothing will work. The delayed end function right here is how long it goes after the message. So if you're getting a long static after the message is stopped, you can change that to 2 seconds. Or mess with it to try to get it right. Down here, these are your station calls. So your first tone is always going to be 510.5 for Andover, and then your second tones there are all calls, station 1, 2, and 3. And then down here, 410.8 is going to be one long tone, and that's your county all call. 510.5 is our duty crew call, another long tone. Okay, so I'm going to read this thing and try to hold on to this at the same time. But when we're doing on-off duty, we want our pager to wear the same pager all the time. So we want to make it A, B, and C, and D to only listen to station 1 so that we're not getting woken up by all the calls in the middle of the night. And then when we come to work, we want to go to switch H and receive everything because we need to hear everything. So we have to remember that when the on-off duty box is checked, that's this guy right up here. When it's left unchecked next to a switch function, these are our switch functions, that means all pages are active for that position regardless of their on-off status on the tone screen. Okay? So if it's unchecked like we have down here, remember H, we want everything, you're going to get everything regardless of what this switch on the next page says. I'm trying. So this is the duty switch. So it doesn't matter if that box is checked. So, and in this page, any switch position that has the on-off duty checked, so if we go back quick, that's the ones, remember, we wanted to be at home and not listen to everything. Anyone that box is checked on that screen will look at this on-off status over here. Whoops. It'll look at the on-off status, and for each page, it will ignore any of them that are set to off. So if we look at this one, it's set for station 1. We want the all calls, the 433.7s, or excuse me, the station 1s, and we want the 539s because that's an all call station. The rest of them, 457 and 483.5, stations 2 and 3, we want turned off, so we don't want to listen to them. And then the 5.10.5 down here too, we turned off because we don't want to listen to that. So hopefully that makes sense. Once you get done messing around in here, you can do a couple of things. You're going to say okay. You're going to go up here and the second right button here, you're going to write your code plug to your pager. Okay, that's done. And then you want to save your code plugs. So especially if people have unique code plugs, save it as, you know, Tom Jones or whoever it is, or a Station 3 program or a duty call pager or something like that. But that's basically it. If you got questions, reach out to admin.